How's it going, everybody? This is BeatTheBush. Today I'm going to compare these two robot vacuums, the Ecovacs N30 Omni versus this iRobot J7 Plus combo. What most people want from a robot vacuum is just to vacuum for you, needs zero attention, maybe even mop as well. Both of these can do the job, although the N30 needs a little bit less attention and it can vacuum and mop a bit better as well. Full disclosure here, this video is brought to you by Ecovacs. I'm going to keep my opinions as unbiased as possible and just show you the actual results. And this will be apparent after you see this video. It's quite amazing how much functionality they have crammed into these robots. Depending on which robot you're talking about, first they need to fill up the water tank. After leaving the base station, they have to map the area. The Ecovacs uses LiDAR, which is a laser-based system, whereas the iRobot uses V-SLAM, which is a camera-based system. If it's a mop and vacuum system, you cannot let the mop touch the carpet. They both do them. If it's vacuuming on the second floor, it needs edge sensor so that it doesn't fall down the stairs. It needs surround section and it cannot get tangled up with long hairs. When it's done, it needs to also find its way back home. To charge a robot, empty the dustbin, wash the mop, store the dirty water away, and also dry the mop. First, the price comparison. This one retails for $800 and $1,100, so this is a cheaper one. The street price is quite a bit lower, this one being $649 and this one being $899. For vacuum suction power, this one has 10,000 pascals, which is at its highest setting, it's 10,000. The iRobot doesn't say what the suction power is. However, if you look at the $600 robotic vacuum cleaners, they range around 5,000 to 7,000 pascal suction power. The Ecovacs was able to suck up large particles just fine. Here's the stuff that it picked up, all the shredded paper and some of the carpet fibers. In this case, I might need a second pass for these little few bits here. That little bit that was left. When I tried it with the iRobot, it looked at the debris and completely avoided it. It must have incorrectly thought it was pet waste and therefore it should not vacuum it. I can't even finish the test. I'm gonna try to pick up some of it. Maybe it didn't like the amount of paper shreds on here. So let's try again. It's able to vacuum it in 2 passes, but not when there's too much stuff on the carpet, which kind of defeats the point of a vacuum cleaner because it's supposed to pick it all up. I have a lot of the carpet hair and some of the paper shreds. It also features zero tangle technology. It can suck up hairs just fine, up to 25 centimeters long. That's about 10 inches. I spread a bunch of hair and making sure it's rubbed in really good. Let's run the Ecovacs over this and see how it does. Look at all this hair. Rub it in like before. With the iRobot, it came out of the hairs and said, not today. It avoided most of the hair and vacuumed around the perimeter, picking up about 1/4 of it. I'm a little bit annoyed now because I spread all this hair here and the robot won't pick it up. I have to manually go and pick up some more of it so that it's not too thick and then let it vacuum. With much less hair, it was able to vacuum it up. The area is now free of hair and there's about an equal amount of carpet hair too. Now let's do the mopping test with the T. Using what they call the True Edge Adaptive Technology. It's basically the mop that can extend outwards and reach the corners. I'm gonna put an equal amount of T all over the corners over here and let it dry. I'm gonna start a mop session. It missed 2 little spots on the first pass. It drew a perimeter all the way around this. And if the area is a bit too small, it's not gonna drive across it. But over here in the middle, it definitely cleaned everything perfectly. Trying it with the iRobot, it won't let me only mop, so I have to vacuum and mop. So let's start doing that. The Roomba couldn't do the edges very well, or this stuff that's near the base station. There's some over here all the way around. But let me run it again and see if it can get any more of it. All around the perimeter, the stains are still there. Let me bring in the Ecovacs and have it clean this up. The mop will retract whenever it goes over the carpet floor so it doesn't get it wet. It also extends outwards when mopping so it can mop towards the edges. The iRobot's mopping technology is a bit different, sort of like a wet mop swifter. It doesn't spin like in the N30 and it doesn't do as good a job when mopping the edges of the floor. When you look at the base station, it's obviously much bigger. The vacuum bags is right here. The vacuum bag for the iRobot is on top. The volume is roughly the same. The N30 is a little bit longer. The iRobot is a little shorter, but a little wider. There's a clean water tank in the front and a dirty water in the back. For the J7 Plus combo, you gotta push this button here, pull this out, and there's a small water tank right here. Compare the size of this versus this. The one in the N30 is easily 10 times the volume of what's in the Roomba. Now in the Roomba, it would pull it around, get the mop wet, and by the time it comes back to the base station, you're gonna have this mop very dirty, and you're gonna have to touch it with your fingers like this. In the N30, it's auto cleaning, spin itself against these nubs inside here, eject some water so all the dirty water goes out, and within this base station, it's gonna suck it up and bring all the dirty water here. So you're never gonna have to touch the dirty mop. You can just pull this thing out over here, open it up, and pour it out. No touching. For the N30, there's a camera in the front. For the J7 Plus, there's also a camera in the front. This camera is what they call the V-SLAM. It's used for mapping the area and object avoidance. On the N30, the mapping technology is this LiDAR thing on the front, and it has a separate camera for object avoidance. So in this robot, it's combining some technology so it can reduce a bit of cost. After using these, I do notice some slight features that people will easily miss if you just read the specifications. Within the app in the N30, it actually allows you to change the density of vacuuming. So instead of covering the floor once, going back and forth and not overlap anything, you can choose to overlap more and more on the N30. There's also 4 different settings for the suction power, all the way up to 10,000 pascals. Because the N30 is a LiDAR-based technology, once it gets off the base station, it can scan in the entire room very, very quickly. In my 75-foot test area, it did it in less than a minute. Whereas in the J7 Plus, it took several minutes instead. It had to use the camera and sort of point it every which way several times before it can map the area. Just for fun, I put the robot in backwards and see if it gets confused. I'm gonna tell it to go home and let's see what happens. It backs itself out. It's got itself out, scans the area, and it goes right back in the right way. Look at that. This is the self-emptying. It's charging itself. Given the N30 is cheaper, maps quicker, theoretically has a stronger suction. If I were to buy one today, I would go with the N30. If you guys are interested in getting the N30, they're having a promotion right when I release this video. They have an early bird special, so check out my affiliate link down in the video description below. Thanks for watching this video. Until next time.